Hello, welcome to the Daily Reflection. You may notice this looks a little different, and that's because for unknown reasons, my camera is not really wanting to keep recording for very long. Hopefully that will change, or that this will work out perfectly. Maybe this is the way we're supposed to go. So today, this is the weekend reading. And I'm going to be doing cards that I did because, well, I already recorded it and the camera didn't. So we'll be using the Archangel Gabriel card deck. And meditative moment. When I was looking in meditation last night and this morning, I was looking at the concepts of what fuels our happiness. I have a very strong belief that most of the time your soul purpose, your spiritual path, all of those things feed into it. And when you're slightly off of it, then you don't experience happiness or joy on a regular basis. But I don't think that that is the only thing that contributes to it. I think obviously agreements we have with people, relationships, there's challenges, and I do believe all of that's part of our spiritual path. But I also believe that sometimes our happiness is affected by the experiences others are having, mostly because just the way human nature is, our energetic bodies communicate by interacting. And while it's not a bad thing or a good thing, there's no judgment on that. That is how it works. Oftentimes their emotions get transferred and we don't recognize that that's what's happening. And so you could just be going along feeling great and all of a sudden be overwhelmed with a certain emotion, whether it's anger, sadness, just malaise where nothing feels right, and all those things. And I think it comes just from not knowing how to recognize when it's getting in or to shield against it. And I've taken some courses of study that through the Berkeley Psychic Institute that do help you with that. They're basic meditation classes. They give you tools, and even using those tools and practicing with them every day for the last several years, I still find that there are different people, different emotions that sneak right past those tools, and I'm sure, to my greater good, I'm learning something about myself and how to manage energy. I was just looking at that in meditation. And so just be aware. My message to you, I guess, is just be aware of if you feel like you are on your spiritual path and you're being overwhelmed by certain emotions, that they may not be yours. And if they're not yours, then you can remove them simply by asking them to go away, asking them to be cleared, prayer. Or if you have the tools and the abilities and have practiced grounding and shielding, or even if you haven't, just those concepts as a spirit, I believe you know. So if you find yourself overwhelmed, just practice grounding and shielding. Pray for them to be removed. And if none of that works, then put yourself in isolation for a little. Although if you're getting emotions energetically, physical isolation doesn't always work either. So anyway, that's the meditation moment. We'll do the cards next. So the first card I drew was Mother Mary. And this card specifically says on it, the Blessed Mother is helping you with your divine life purpose. And when I looked at it originally, I saw that it was just the support from the Supreme Being, from the angels, from to help everybody obtain, walk, be on your spiritual path. You're not here alone. There's a lot of support. And Mother Mary has a very nurturing feel to her most of the time. She can have a very, I don't want to say it's not strict, but very matter of fact energy. But a lot of times she comes across, her energy is very soft and gentle, but mostly you have support towards doing what you're here to do on this planet as a spirit in this lifetime. And so when you feel alone, isolated, or like you're struggling, call on that support. Look for it. Allow yourself to feel it. And the second card I got was motivation. And this speaks to more what I was looking at, where when you're walking your spiritual path, but you don't feel happy, or you don't feel good, or you feel worn out, it's like, why is that? What's going on? And I already talked about a little bit of what might be going on. But anyway, this card here says, pray for guidance on how to increase your enthusiasm for focus on projects. So I also believe physically, when our bodies get tired, it is hard to keep up a level of motivation. And so if you're not taking the time to relax, to nurture your body, to give yourself breaks, then you're not going to have the motivation all the time to keep going. But again, the support is there, the help for finding it, the help for keeping you on your path when you're tired or overwhelmed or feel like you're not doing it the right way. Or even, maybe you're on the right path, but what you're doing is not exactly the easiest or best way to do something. It is a way and it works, but maybe there's an easier way, and you can ask for help with that also. And the last card I drew was deserving. And this one says, you, like all of God's children, deserve health, happiness, and love. And I guess the overall picture, I just kept it with this because it was the third card, was just what you are doing is important. There is support for you, and you deserve to have the richness of your dreams. You deserve to have the fulfillment of your dreams, and you deserve to have enjoyment of the process along the way. So how much of that you allow yourself probably depends on the day, probably depends on your upbringing, your cultural influences. Some people can allow themselves joy, happiness, exploration, and play every day. Some people, just the way they grew up, that's a very difficult thing. So if you are in that camp of it being a very difficult thing to allow yourself to enjoy what you're doing, to enjoy, quote, work, whether that's tasks that you do during the day just to make your life work, or whether that's what you do to bring in money. If you can't enjoy that, you might take a look at what rules say that you can't enjoy the process of work. And then when you look at those rules, you can decide whether they make sense to you or whether that's just kind of a silly rule. An example that comes to mind is the fashion rules that my grandmother grew up with. You didn't wear white shoes prior to May 31st. And you didn't wear certain colors in the winter, and you didn't wear other colors during the summer. And you never wore black unless you were in mourning. I mean, there were just a lot of rules about the fashion that society as a whole kind of embraced, and they made sense to them, but there was no real reason for it. And so now, later generations, we kind of laugh at those rules. Same kind of thing might be happening in your space around your enjoyment of work and the way that you provide for yourself and the way that you get through your day and make your life work. There's no reason that you can't enjoy those processes. You deserve to enjoy them. You deserve to have happiness, and you deserve to have support and connection. So, and when I say deserve, it's there for you. It's whether you can receive it or not. So, all right, that's it. That's the weekend reading. And hopefully this take works better than the first one. I hope you have a blessed weekend, and we will see you next week. Thanks. Take care. Be blessed.